Hi everyone, it's Nish, and thank you so much if you were being super patient with me. Man, internet is crazy. So I just wanted to just jump back on here and present to you with grace, to you for being so patient with me. The internet dropped out on the first round of this, so now we are doing social media tips for authentically branding your business. So the first thing is a little about me. So I go by Mish. I'm originally from Oregon. I'm actually coming to you live from Oregon right now. We're visiting my family. And I started with doTERRA almost 3 years ago and immediately started when I got my first oils with online. So I have made a lot of mistakes in my time with doTERRA, especially figuring out what I want to say and how I want to brand my business, etc. So tonight I want to share with you some tips and tricks which I wish I would have done and wish I would have utilized when I first started my doTERRA business. The first thing is like why social media? And I know some people are still questioning it, but it's a huge tool to leverage. And 74% of consumers, so 74% of your potential target audience is using social media to make purchasing decisions. So if you don't have an active and consistent Facebook page, or you're not on message on your Facebook page and people don't actually know who you are or what you're saying or what you're there for, um, it makes it very difficult for you to convert because you're not actually communicating what you want to communicate to your target audience. So more than 1.4 billion people use Facebook, for example, every single month. There's almost 900 million people who use it every single day. And people spend on average 40 minutes on Facebook every single day. The largest proportion of growing audience in Facebook is actually 65 and over. But as you can tell, Facebook is a huge, huge social media platform. So some other social media platforms which are really popular and can be used really well in your doTERRA or online business beyond Facebook is Instagram. So Instagram tends to be a bit younger. Um, it's very, very visual. So this is great for people who are taking nice photos or who are doing short snippet stories like on Insta stories. Maybe you have an audience which is a bit younger or more female. It's a visual imagery type of a app. So it's going to be about creating really beautiful pictures and creating a connection with Instagram stories with your audience in short, fast stories. Facebook, in my opinion, allows you to be more connected on like an education level and a consumer base level. It allows you to have longer videos on Instagram, for example, allows you to have groups and support type areas for your team and users if you're doing doTERRA, and creating communities online. So it's a bit more community based than Instagram, for example. Pinterest is a great one to utilize if you're going to be using like recipes and images, e-commerce, and sort of creating that kind of dream world for people. A lot of people go to Pinterest for oil recipes, inspirational quotes. The joke is that you have your wedding planned on Pinterest before you even find your partner, like those type of things. So it's a visual thing like Instagram, but it's more about storing ideas, getting ideas, and visual inspiration for like ways to use your essential oils or ways to make your life a different way, or quotes or things like that. So Pinterest is great to utilize if you know that you're going to be into the recipe making of doTERRA, or you're going to be using things for like fashion or inspiration and things like that. So where else can you grow your business online? Definitely YouTube. That's a great place. Like someone said, it's your own free TV channel. LinkedIn is great if you're going to target professionals or you want to get into the professional world. LinkedIn is great for that. Zoom is great because you can use it for online meetings. You can use it for online one-on-ones. You can use it for team meetings. You can use it for education. You can have free classes on Zoom. So Zoom is a great one. And I actually have included in a social media e-package, which I'll talk about at the end, a training on how to utilize Zoom for meetings and online training and one-on-ones. And I also, in that e-package, talk about how to utilize and know more about your Facebook and Instagram profile. So if you're looking at really wanting to get your sink your teeth into more specifics about Facebook and demographics and how to do all of that type of stuff and ad boosting and whatnot, the e-package I'll talk about at the end of this webinar is great. You can also use newsletters. I know some people use Synduit, Aweber, Constant Contact, MailChimp, all those type of things you can use. I wish I would have used newsletters more in the beginning, but I just didn't have time. But they can be really good if you're able to collect people's emails and use them. And podcasts. Now, podcasts aren't something that a lot of people know about, but if you're really passionate about something, like you're really, really fired up about, women's empowerment and mental health and self-compassion and stuff like that, then a podcast might be really useful because you can bring people on, you can have guests, you can really accentuate your brand really beautifully. It's not necessary to do that, but it's a great other opportunity to use if you're wanting to brand your business online. So how did I brand my business online, right? So when I first started doTERRA, I started when my daughter was 6 months old. I got a Facebook business page immediately. It was oils with Miche, actually. I first started out, I changed it to Miche Pope Oils with Miche, and now I'm just Miche Pope. No more like attachment to anything except myself, which is always good. And I started out mostly just sharing about the oils, like how did lemon work, how did peppermint work, how did all these oils work. And that got me really far. Like, it got me to the point where I reached Diamond and was able to celebrate Diamond this year at convention, which was really cool. And I was able to build a 6-figure income with over $1 million worth of sales turnover every single year. So, I was able to create an amazing business and connect with people all around the world, and to help my leaders do the same, and to be able to support my team and to be able to build my brand. But I realized right around the time I hit Diamond that I wanted something more. I wanted something deeper. I wanted something bigger. And I kind of felt like just talking about how the oils worked, I was no longer being authentic to who I was, and I was craving a deeper authenticity. So I decided probably about 10 months ago to hire a life coach, because I really wanted to sink into what was my authentic voice and what was my true alignment and what did my business need to move forward to that higher level. I was upper limiting, and I needed to work through that because I wanted to really bring me to my audience. I wanted to bring me to myself, to be honest. I have also hired business coaches throughout my time to be able to be more strategic about what I do and how I present. And I've also even hired social media strategy coaches. And the thing is that if you want to take this as a business and you really want to go there, you have to have a team around you. Because as you grow and as you expand, you need to be able to process the emotions and the strategy and all of those bits and bobs of your business with other people who are experts in the area. And I realized that I wanted to share my story. I've always known since the moment that I started with doTERRA that my story was about not just the oils. My story was about empowerment and education and helping women see themselves for who they are and to help you see your own divine gifts. And when I realized that I could bring together the oils and my teaching background and this need for empowerment, that I could bring it all into one brand, all under one roof, I created this webinar, because I feel like there's so many social media webinars about get your target audience, and this is this 3-step program that costs $20,000 is going to save you. And it's like, well, at the crux of all of the systems that you can purchase is the fact that you actually need to know who you are, and you actually need to be able to bring the things that you are online. No matter what sort of gimmicks you buy or programs you purchase or systems you spend hours and hours creating, if you're not actually showing up and showing you, then people can't connect. So what I want to say to you is, don't waste another second with waiting to invest in yourself and invest in your authenticity. Because if you don't do that, you're just going to be wasting time. And I would even say to you, it's time to get down and practical and hire that support that you need to bring forth your voice. But before we go into how I can help you do that, I wanted to just give you some tips that I use in my coaching with my team and also my life coaching, because I want to show you that this is really easy. And by having somebody help you tease this out, you can totally smash your authenticity online and for yourself. So the very first thing I'm going to say to you, and if obviously you're watching this as a replay now because we couldn't get it to go live, is for you, I'm going to ask you some questions. I want you to maybe pause and do some brainstorming, then come back and listen to the next step. And the first thing about bringing authenticity online, I think the very first crux for yourself or for your leaders is to know your strengths. Now, I'm going to tell you something that has cost me a lot of money and a lot of time. I did not focus on my strengths for the first 2 years or more of my business. I spent a majority of my time trying to out-coach, out-purchase, outdo my weaknesses. I would sit online and focus on all the other people that were blowing by and building these giant businesses, or that had these beautiful images or these amazing videos or these awesome webinars, or they were rank advancing past me even faster. And I just would sit and wallow in my weaknesses, and I would not spend time with my strengths. In order to spend time with your strengths, you must release the victim mentality. And what I do with a lot of my life coaching clients is, why are you staying in that space? Why are you not showing yourself to yourself? And why are you not showing yourself online? There's so many lessons in that, and that's exactly why I love coaching. So if you're listening to this, I would just spend some time writing down, what are your strengths? What do people come to you for? What are you known for? What are the things that you know you're really good at? For me, I am not good at keeping a house clean. I know that. I'm not good at DIY. I know that. So I'm not going to be talking about that in my audience, because that's not who I really am. The next thing is, what are you passionate about? What are you really going to say, you know what, I'm going to really draw a line there, and that's really important for me. And there's a couple, 3 things that I'm really passionate about, that I'm really, really strong for. And you need to think about that. Like, what are you super passionate about? Are you passionate about the fact that this helps mothers have natural solutions? Are you super passionate about the business opportunity and how it's going to give you financial and time freedom? Do you love the fact that this business is actually giving you the ability to understand your strengths and passions, and you want to bring that forward in a holistic approach to your brand? Are you really passionate about the fact that that you can use these essential oils in the healthcare industry? I don't know what you're passionate about, but you need to decide what you're really passionate about. For me, at the core of who I am, through all that I've done the last 3 years, I'm super passionate about empowering women to see their own divine gifts and to bring forth self-compassion, radiance, and adventure in their lives and businesses. I am really passionate about financially supporting and time supporting organizations which bring dignity to the people in the world who do not have a voice. And I'm really passionate about empowering my leaders to see their own worth and breaking through upper ceilings. That's what I'm super passionate about. And so that's what I need to bring consistently to my audience, because I will find people, and I'll talk about this in just a minute, when you start to bring yourself online, and you bring yourself back to why you're doing it, and you bring forth your passions, your why, and your strengths, you start to really, really, really connect with yourself, your message, and your audience. So let's just say we picked Jane, and we did these questions with Jane. Simplistically, she loves DIY. She has a passion for children. She isn't great at images, but she loves doing videos. She's also able to speak in Spanish and English. So what are some of the things that Jane can bring authentically online? What are some of the ways that she can get onto social media and bring her message online authentically? Now, I'm not telling gimmicks. I'm not saying to do all this crazy stuff. I'm just saying, take what you love, take what you're good at, take what you are passionate about, take why you're doing this, and then utilize it and capitalize it online in the way that it's going to be sustainable and consistent for you. So for Jane, she's going to be talking about toxin-free living and toxin-free kids activities. She's going to be utilizing Facebook Zooms, or Facebook Lives, and Zooms, and Instagram stories. She's going to be doing content in English and Spanish so that she can reach out to both those audiences. And she's going to be looking at creating some sort of Facebook community about toxin-free living. Then we have a little bit of a case study on Susan. She loves the emotion oils, and she's comfortable on Facebook, but willing to give Instagram a go. She's super passionate about holistic health, especially cooking and processing emotions. She's not into videos, but she's happy to learn Canva, which is a great online image website, which you can actually access for free. And in my social media e-package, I talk about how to use Canva for Facebook and Instagram. And she really wants to focus on recipe creation and one-on-one consults. So if you are her mentor, you don't even have to know a ton about Pinterest or Facebook or Instagram. You just have to know that she would be really good on Instagram because she wants to create recipes and images that can be easily socially shared. And you're going to really work on her
to think about possibly blogging and creating beautiful content around holistic health and recipes on food and oils, and also thinking about how can she utilize and create a one-on-one booking system because classes aren't her forte. This is what we do, guys. You don't need to be anyone other than yourselves, and all you need to do as a leader is draw this out on your team as well. And this is what I love about coaching, is that when we get into it, either in a 1-hour session or a 6-hour series, we really focus in on what are you good at and how can we capitalize that in your business and in your life. I love this quote. I think it's one of my most favorite quotes, actually. Don't overestimate everyone else and underestimate yourself. Yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. To be authentically branding yourself, you just have to be you, and that's it. So what should you post, right? So all well and good, Mish, that was a bit rah-rah, but what should I post? Well, here's some things to think about. Are you highlighting your skills, strengths, and passions? Do you know them? If you don't know them, then maybe it's a great time to reach out to me to help you find them. Know who your audience is and who you want to attract in your business. Who's your community? Be authentic, be consistent with a consistent message. This is the biggest thing that kills people on social media. They don't have a consistency with their message and they don't post consistently enough. Be positive, only sell 10% of the time. So 80 to 90% of the time you're sharing, you're educating, you're empowering, you're doing you, and be compliant. Maybe don't call it social media, just be human and tell your story. I love that quote. We get so caught up in the who's and the what's and the how's and this is and the that's. And what we really just need to be is us and share your story. So what are some ways that you can connect with your target audience? How do you bring you to your community? So I really think about this and I love this so much. I think sometimes we're always looking at like, how do we lead convert and how do we bring people in and how do we, boost better? Or how do we do this? How do we do that? What's the strategy about getting new leads? I just don't have any new leads. And I'm going to ask you, are you blossoming like a flower? If you are a closed up person who is not actually really authentically bringing yourself forward, you're not authentically branding your business, how are the bees going to come to you, Buttercup? They're not. They're going to go to that person, that bush further down the road if they have to fly a little bit further because it's open for business. It's totally in blossom. It's basking in the glory of its beauty, right? And that's what you have to do. You have to blossom because when you blossom and you love who you are, no matter what color or size or shape or scent of a rose you are, the bees will come. Your community and tribe will come. But it will not come unless you open up to who you really are. And some questions to think about is once you know your strengths and passions and drive, who do you actually want to work with? Like, I am not a toxin-free kind of, I'm toxin-free, but I'm not like a DIY kind of a girl. So is that who I want to work with? Well, I'm not going to say no to them, but my community's working with women who are high-powered, who want to take it to the next level, who are looking for business opportunities, moms who are looking for inspiration and support. Like, that's who I'm working with, and that's who I want to attract to my community. What sort of message do you want to bring to your audience? How do you want to serve them with your strengths? God, I love that question. How can you serve your community with the strengths that you have? My goodness, that is such a beautiful thing. Like, if you are a rose and you're blossoming, like, how do you want people to see you? What do you want to be known for? And how can you use your strengths to attract builders on your team, right? We all have different divine gifts and strengths. So everyone's different and everyone attracts builders differently. So when you're looking at sharing the opportunity, how can you utilize your strengths? Like, if you're very, very good at videos, like we talked about earlier with Jane, then she could do videos in Spanish and English and talking about how she's built her business. And if the other one that we talked about, which was Susan, where she really wanted to focus on one-on-ones, then she could really focus on attracting people in really intimate builder exploratory communications where she could talk about the business in a one-on-one setting. So no matter what you do, who you want to work with and who you want to attract really comes back to who you are at the core. And some other things for what could you actually post online is your life, right? And I'll show you some images in just a minute. Blends and recipes, high quality graphics, again, really making good ones on Canva. Business opportunity, inspirational quotes, the company that you're representing, so about doTERRA and upcoming events. I love this quote. Again, create your own visual style. Let it be unique for yourself and yet indefinable. for others. So some content that you can share from my target audience and my jam is working with high vibration moms and working with entrepreneurial women is Goodnight Grumpy Mood Swinging Toddler, Vetiver is here to take you away. And there are tons of high vibration and working moms and stay-at-home moms and career moms who have kids who don't sleep. I'm dealing with it right now, actually, again. And so you can just reach out and say, hey, if that's you, book in for a one-on-one with me because I want to help you balance out motherhood and career and, how to help your kids get the best night's sleep. This was just a picture of me at the airport after packing my daughter around in the hot, sweaty Brisbane heat with all of our luggage. And I just wanted to shout out to all the moms out there who are working really hard because my brand is about empowering women who are focusing on their entrepreneurial journey. So the content that I'm going to create is about that, is inspiring them and showing the transparency of, no makeup, in basically workout clothes, trekking my daughter through the airport because that's who I am at the core. I am totally transparent. And then one of the best things that you can do is to think about the questions that you ask yourself or the things that you're pondering in your business or in the use of oils and asking those questions of your audience because you're able to really utilize the ways in which you run your business and the ways in which you are able to think about the struggles that you might have are going to be the same struggles that your audience have. So I was actually asking myself this probably a couple months ago, like, am I hiding my talents and strengths because I don't feel like an expert? And, a lot of people read that quote and were like, wow, that is such an interesting quote. I've never thought of it that way. But if you're wanting to really ask that question of yourself and you're wanting to draw people in who are going to be asking that questions themselves, then you'd ask that question. If you were in DIY and toxin-free living, you might say, have you ever thought about all the chemicals that you have all over your house and what oils you can use to replace them? Because that's a question that you might have, or it might be a question that your audience is searching for. So when you're thinking about what sort of content you create, it's like, well, what do you think, what can you bring for your audience, and what do you know your audience is looking for from you? This was just me about goal setting and using essential oils to anchor that. And again, sharing about my business, sharing about my journey with my career and my entrepreneurial journey, and also about how to use oils in that process. So you're combining my talents and my drive of working with entrepreneurial women and also essential oils. So my question to you is, if you start to actually desire to or authentically brand yourself, are you okay with, well, what if this actually works? Are you in a place where you are not going to self-sabotage yourself and live in a place of fear and victim mentality? And are you going to go big? Are you ready to go big? Are you ready to take your business to the next level and bring you online, bring you totally out in the front so that you can start attracting the community that you actually want to work with and bring all the talents and gifts forward for yourself? Because I know that you're sitting there going, thanks, Mish, that was awesome. Thank you for, giving us round 2 and the internet hasn't died. But you're probably thinking, okay, so now what? Like, that was really awesome. But now what? Well, let me tell you, I have you covered because I have 3 different offers for you if you're interested in taking it further. Because you know what? I want to help you out. I have been there, guys. I have totally and completely been there going, that's really lovely, but what the heck do I do now? So the first thing is I want to ask you, are you ready to dive in? Are you sitting there going, you know what? That 6-hour coaching session package with me sounds amazing because I am ready to go all in. I am ready to be totally and authentically aligned and grow in my life and business, and I'm totally ready to figure out my true passions. If that is you, I have a 6-series coaching life and business package, which I'm offering for 33% off for those on this webinar. You'll receive unlimited email support for 12 weeks during that coaching session, which is 6 hours total of coaching. And you'll also be gifted the social media e-package and goal setting self-directed thing that I have, which I'll talk about in just a minute. This is an awesome package, and you'll save over $400 on this package. And this is so ready for that person to go, I'm all in. I am so in. I am so ready to go there. I'm so ready to just blossom. I am ready to bring the bees to my flower. I am totally and completely ready to go there. Now, some of you might think I'm ready and I know exactly what Misha's talking about, but there's just one niggling thing that I just cannot seem to get over. This one area of my life, my business, that is just holding me back from just blossoming totally. And I just feel like 1 hour with Mish might be perfect. So if that's for you, I have a 1 hour laser focusing coaching session where we will get in and unravel that one thing really fast. This is for someone who knows that they have just one area of their life or business they need to work on. And this is a focus session with just that session. And if you decide to book in for that 1 hour session with me, you're also going to get the social media and goal setting e-package for free as well. Now, if you think to yourself, I just want to start with a bit of Facebook, Instagram, Canva, and goal setting knowledge. And you know what? I always tend to want to do goals, but don't know how to get there. And I'm maybe not ready for coaching right now, but I really want to start learning more about goal setting and manifesting. I want to learn how to leverage Facebook and Instagram a bit better. And you know what? I really would love to know how to run an online Zoom class. Well, then I have an awesome social media and goal setting e-package. This e-package is worth $59 and is completely free for anybody who decides to do a 1 hour or a 6 hour coaching package with me, or you can start here and coach with me later, which is totally cool. This has everything about social media, Instagram and Facebook from business perspective, how to make images, how to manifest and goal set well. And it also has a bonus training video on how to run online meetings and trainings. And for the first 2 people who purchase this social media e-package, you will receive a 1 hour laser focused mentoring session with me. So get in and get this social media e-package, and the first 2 people to purchase it will also get a $200 laser focused 1 hour mentoring session with me for free. So let me help you with this journey. You know, don't sit here and twiddle your thumbs and freak out because you feel like there's so much to do. Let me guide you and reinvest in your business, and most importantly, reinvest in yourself, because that was the one thing that gave me the most out of life and has given me the most of life in my journey, is a constant reinvestment in who I am so I can reinvest even more in my business. So thank you so much for joining me tonight from Oregon or during the day. I do apologize for the first YouTube internet crash, but we are on now. So you can also find me, if you haven't found me, on Mish Pope Coach on Facebook and Mish Pope on Instagram. Thank you again so much for coming tonight. Thank you so much for your beautiful support of me. And I look forward to chatting with you over the next couple days after this webinar with even more information for you. Bye, everyone, and don't hesitate to reach out to me.